Good morning, welcome back. Welcome to our latest YouTube channel. So this weekend it is double competition time, alright? And I'm gonna take you along for both of them. So the carb loading process has started. So Saturday I've got a wild hybrid with Ben, one of my clients, down at Cannock Chase, which is a 5 kilometre trail run and probably 4 or 5 kilometres of running, dumbbell overhead, Atlas stones, deadlifts, sandbag squats and a couple of other things. And then Sunday I've got a HYROX simulation in Retford, so racing at 12 o'clock on Saturday and 8:30 on Sunday morning. But the carb loading process, as I said, has started. So yesterday had an extra 100 gram of carbs on my day-to-day meals, and today, the day is Friday, so it's 6 o'clock in the morning and we're just starting off with meal one. So it's going to be about 20 grams of jam, and then it's going to be a bagel extra. So I'm going to take you along with me. You're going to see everything from the races, and then you're also going to see the process of how I carb load before and the process I take. So I am at a wedding this afternoon, so it won't be as strict, but obviously the amount of carbs that I'll be consuming will be higher. So meal one has started nicely early this morning, just to give that, with me having more food today, to be able to spread that out a little bit. But I'm going to take you along with the journey over the next couple of days. So I had an easy bite yesterday with a couple of efforts, and then I've got a full rest day today before 2 days of comp. So it's going to be a busy weekend. But yeah, I'm going to take you along with you, and I can't wait to get going really this weekend. It's going to be a tough weekend in terms of physically on the body, but it's what we do it for. So just got back from work. Meal number 2 now is we've got egg, bacon medallions, we have got chicken sausages, we've got a slice of sourdough, and we've got a little bit of salad, tomatoes, spinach. So that is meal 2. So it's a rest day diet, because we are on a full rest day today, but obviously we've just got the extra 100 grams of carbs. So it's now just after 9:30, and yeah, just going to start making the next meal. So just getting the meal now. So I've not got any spinach and tomatoes like I had, so a bit of a weird option with me this morning, that I've got salad with breakfast, which is a little bit backwards. House is a bit all over the place. We've just got a shirt ready for the wedding, so doing the check-ins now, so that's what I'm doing now, getting my Friday morning check-in underway. So I'm very much a person that I'm not too bothered what the food looks like, what it tastes like, as long as it hits my macros, alright? So I don't really care. I know some people do, but as long as that food hits my macros, like that does there, on a rest day. Obviously I had the bagel extra this morning, and then I'll be eating, making sure protein's high, and obviously I will be carving up, but because I'm on competition Saturday, Sunday, I'm not too fussed about what I eat this afternoon. And as I've chatted with my coach Stephen, he was like, we'll respond if you are having more carbs, just document it, take photos of how much you're having, and we'll know how you respond to that on a race day. So when I do further race days, I'll know if I respond to a lot of carbs, I don't respond to carbs. So yeah, so now I'm going to tuck into this, and then it's time to get ready. Being a lad that I am, we're leaving the house in 25 minutes, and I've got to get showered, have a shave, eat my lunch, eat my breakfast, do some check-ins, and get ready. So let's go. Good morning. So the time is just after 7:30 now, and it's race day number 1. So we've got the wild hybrid today, which is running incorporated. There's a 5k trail run to finish. Then we've got a couple of station kilometre intervals with stuff like Atlas stones, ground to overhead with a press. We've got farmer's carry, sandbag squats, deadlifts, things like that. So I'm going to be racing with my client Ben. But again, I'm going to take you on for the food and the nutrition for today. Yesterday at the wedding, so I didn't document it, but we had like obviously a 3-course wedding breakfast in the afternoon, then we had some kind of pizzas and things like that. So definitely carved up a little bit. Didn't document that, but I was quite flexible on that. I didn't obviously track any of that. But this morning, gone in with oats, berries, a little bit of whey protein in there, and cinnamon, and then with a protein shake. So done that, and then got my bag prepped with my food, electrolytes, things like that, ready to go for the day ahead. So I'm going to take you along, and obviously I will show you as much as I can. Won't really be able to film the actual event, but I will show you as much as I can in terms of what I've got in my pre-workout supplement, any gels that I have post-workout, because obviously I have my Cocoa Pops straight away because I'm racing again tomorrow, and then the wraps that I've got for mid-morning. So yeah, so looking forward to it. Got an hour or 2 of work this morning, so just going to go off to the unit now, and then yeah, got the electrolyte hydration powder as well, ready to go, as that's a staple today, especially with competing 2 and 2. So yeah, we'll take you along for the ride.
It was then meal 2, so we were on our way to Leicester. So I had a wrap with some mince and some veg and salad, and I had this around 2 hours before so that I could have this, and then around kind of 20 to 30 minutes I'd have start supping on my pre-workout supplements alongside an energy gel that I had about 15 minutes before, and then I had another energy gel around half an hour into the actual workout, alongside sipping on this that had cyclic dextrin, creatine, amino acids, electrolytes. So I had a full balance of supplements.
So we've just arrived at the venue, so going in about 20-25 minutes, just checked in and ready to go. So won't be able to get much footage from today, just because obviously we're solo, and we won't be carrying the camera around, but don't know how long it's going to take. Obviously it's a brand new concept for us to do, so yeah, we'll see what it goes, and I will check in after, and any photos or anything we can get, obviously I will put them in this video as well.
Excellent effort, ladies. Come on, keep going. You can do it. Looking good.
So I was on instructions to have this meal as soon as we had completed. So my post-workout Cocoa Pops and protein. And then on the way home, I had the extra carbohydrates, so I had bagel and jam, which helped promote that recovery, because what we wanted was to respond as well as we could do so that we were full of energy for tomorrow's workout.
And that is us now home. So time to rest, recover, and then we've got a HYROX simulation tomorrow in Retford. So we've got our first proper full run through, should we say. Did one in the gym, but as like a race day format. Tomorrow is going to be my first attempt at it, so looking forward to giving that a go. Obviously I've already done 10 kilometers of running and some other physical activity in terms of the wild hybrid today, so it's not a true realistic race prep, but it'll be good to see where things are at from a physical standpoint. Kind of what are we now, around a month out from Birmingham HYROX. We've got about a month now to work on kind of weakness and things like that, so that's why I wanted to put it in when it is, and it just fell on the same weekend. But with me going away, where you'll now have this vlog, I'll actually be away at the minute. It just gives me time to prep. So we've got we've got the yogurt bowl later on this evening, got some kind of chicken rice. I'm not too sure exactly what I'm going to have for that meal, and then we've got some carbs to make up, so probably going to be some oats, I think, oats and honey, just to top the extra 100 gram of carbs up that we need today in relation to tomorrow. So yeah, so gonna go and get in the bath now and just chill out for a little bit before evening meal. So yeah, so that is Wild Hybrid complete. Very, very good event. I would do it again, definitely, and I would recommend it. So yeah, it's one I will look to put on the diary next year, because it was something I really did enjoy. So just before going to get the bath, I needed to top up to get the extra kind of grams of carbs in. So I've just got about 65 grams of oats, and that with a bit of cinnamon and a tiny bit of honey, and that is going to make up my remaining carbs. So obviously it's important today just to keep the carb load going, ready for tomorrow as well. And then Monday is a rest day. So yeah, got 100 grams carbs extra today, 100 grams carbs extra yesterday, and Thursday. So I've had Thursday, Friday and Saturday with a little bit of extra carbs just to fuel me over the weekend. So that's the extra bit made up. And then I've just got the evening meal later and my yogurt bowl that I normally have later into the evening, just to give me that nighttime snack. And then my final 2 meals of the day. So I am off back out now for a couple of hours. So nice and easy meal tonight. I've got chicken breast, some white rice and some salad. And then the meal that I absolutely love, we've got 200 grams of yogurt, dark chocolate, we've got a little bit of cinnamon on top, a little bit of granola, bit of whey protein in there, and berries. So staple in my diet, that at the end of every day, pretty much have that. And that'll conclude Saturday. So obviously competition at lunchtime today, and then prepping. We'll eat these a little bit later on tonight, just so it's in the system, ready, because we're going at 8:30 in the morning. So I'll be probably having my normal breakfast around 6:30, just to give that time to digest. That'll be it from me today. I'm going to have this meal now, then the other meal probably around 8:30, 9 o'clock. Bed for about 10:30, 11 o'clock, and then we'll go again first thing in the morning for race number 2 of the weekend. Good morning. So it's Sunday, it's race day number 2, so it's just after 6:30 in the morning, and we have got our usual breakfast, a little bit of coffee, we've got our protein shake, and we've got oats, berries, and cinnamon in the oats. All right, so looking forward to today. First proper HYROX kind of simulation. Shoulders are feeling it from yesterday, to be fair. My shoulders are aching, so it's going to be interesting to see what it's like when my body is fatigued from yesterday. But we'll see what we can do today on a fatigued body. Then next month, when we are like 4 weeks out from Birmingham, be interested to see what we're like when we're fresh. So not really sure what it's going to be like today. Obviously, I'm feeling quite fatigued from yesterday, but we'll give it a good go.
And then it was time for the HYROX simulation. So on the runs, felt really strong, to be fair. And this is probably my strongest station is the skier. So I think I did something like 3:54 for the kilometre on the skier, so felt good. This is where the issue happened, is I got on the wrong sled, which was frustrating. I'll discuss that a little bit later. So I ended up doing a little bit more. I'd never done the sled pull before in this format, so it took me a couple of seconds to learn. But once I did, got into a nice little rhythm. And again, back out on the run, which was a lovely day for it. Burpees, they're a lot better than there was before. Still need to improve the technique just a little bit in terms of the fluency of them, but they are getting better. It was then on the rower, much stronger on the rower than I used to be. So this was 3:53 for the kilometre. So vast improvements. As I went onto the farmer's carry, my shoulders were still burning from yesterday. So I think I did about 8 lengths, so about 80 metres unbroken. And then I had to break down the final kind of bits into like 50 metres, and then the final 20. Lunges, again, getting much, much better. Getting used to performing them under high stress and the legs burning. So we're continuing to improve these, but there's still room for improvement. And then the wall balls on reflection need to get a little bit deeper, but that is something I do need to work on. So I'm going to put that into my training. And then this was the aftermath. So yesterday, running 10 kilometres, the 5 obstacles, and then this morning running 8 kilometres and the 8 obstacles, it certainly took its toll on my body, but I was really impressed with myself in terms of getting through both of them and my time. So I finished with 1 hour 8:59. Obviously there was a few little bits that happened, but this is why we do the simulations, to get them out of the way.
And that is the simulation done. So the official watch time was 1:08:59. There were a little bit of an issue on the sled, that when I got there, on the sleds, that I went onto the wrong one with a different weight. So I did the wrong, slightly lighter weight for a couple, then did a bit of extra with a heavier weight. So I was a little bit annoyed at that, because obviously if I'm going to do something, I'm one of them people that do it right. So I did a bit extra, but some with the heavier weight, some with the lighter weight. So I'm a little bit frustrated, but that's why I've done the practice simulations, to make sure that I'm making these mistakes in here and not there. But there were no kind of members of staff to help me or tell me I was doing it wrong till 3 or 4 kind of lengths in. But overall, happy. Obviously, the shoulders were burning from the overhead presses yesterday. But yeah, I was really pleased with kind of the running. And going straight from one station into the run. Skiers was sub 4 minutes, row was sub 4 minutes, lunges did like 40 to 50 metres unbroken, and then a little bit longer. Wall balls, I need to get lower on the wall balls. That's one of my biggest kind of targets, and probably looking back at some of the footage already, I do need to get lower on the wall balls, but my legs were kind of like lead from yesterday as well. So definitely that's something I'm going to work on in the next 4 weeks, is getting that depth in wall balls and practicing wall balls, because I probably would have to do a couple more on reflection. But again, that is why I've done the practice runs, just to watch this through. But big thanks to Soph, big thanks to my dad as well, for coming through to get some footage for me, and to cheer me along.
And it is now Sunday evening, and that is the double event weekend complete. So my body knows about it now, it really does. It's quite sore at the minute, but I always knew that was going to be the case. But I just wanted to see, I'll be honest, it was a mistake booking the Sunday the day after the Saturday. I didn't realise that in the calendar. But that being said, doing the HYROX today, the HYROX simulation under fatigued conditions, obviously made me push that a little bit further. But when I do my first HYROX in Birmingham next month, Obviously, that won't be the case. I'll have been able to taper my training a little bit better. I won't have done 10 kilometers of running the day before, so hopefully I should be able to push that a little bit harder. But that being said, I was really kind of pleased with the run today. So back to yesterday, obviously racing with Ben. I really enjoyed the kind of pairs workout, the you go, I go style. It was good on the sandbag squats, enjoyed that, felt strong on that. The Atlas Stone, the 50 kilo Atlas Stone over the box, felt good on that, felt good on all the runs to be fair. Felt good on the deadlift, the farmer's carry. The one that really kind of struggled with was the 22.5 kilo press in each hand overhead. Probably only got to 10 unbroken on that. My shoulders were fatigued quickly, and then woke up feeling very fatigued this morning on the shoulders. So that's probably where the biggest kind of fatigue was. But Ben did really well as well on all of them. Probably he'll admit that he started to struggle on the run, and he probably hated me, but I got him through it. And it was a good time of just over an hour. And then on to today. Obviously today, I've never done a simulation style as such. I've done training sims, but never in like a competitive environment. So it was good, very different. And it was all about kind of trying to find that groove in terms of running to the stations and the movement efficiency. When I've done my own sims in the past, it's been on a curved treadmill, and the time it takes for me to come off the curved treadmill, get onto the station, to be able to run straight out to the station into the run was definitely kind of keeping it closer to what I'll do on the event next week. Some events I felt really strong on, that being the skier, the rower. I felt good on the lunges today, which I don't really say. So I felt good on there. I was really disappointed in myself as such on the kind of sled push that all of the sleds were pushed back and that one was out. So I just assumed we were using that one. Didn't look at the weights, and there was no members of staff around or anything. Obviously, it's the first kind of one I've done where I've not set it up. And then I found out halfway through that I wasn't using the right weight. It was too light, so then I went on the other one and did an extra couple on there. But obviously it was like half and half, so I probably didn't do enough reps of the heavy weight, which again, I'm one of them people that if I'm going to do something, got to do it right. So that was a little bit frustrating, but it's a lesson learned, and that's the thing I'm taking. Not blaming anybody. Obviously there were no staff there to tell me until later on, and I've never done that kind of bit before, but it was just one of those things. And then sled pull, with my gym, I haven't got the room to do sled pull, so I just needed to tweak my routine a little bit, which probably cost me a couple of seconds. But again, that's the learning curve about it. Wall balls as well, having looked back at the footage again, when I'm training on my own, you don't see the depth as much. I need to learn on that depth, getting a little bit lower, and that's another learning curve I took from it. So, and that's exactly why we've done that sim today, is before we go into the official events, to find out what I'm struggling with, what I'm not, and to kind of take forward learning curves. So in terms of nutrition as well, trialing that. So I had a kind of 40-gram carb gel before I had my breakfast, and then obviously the rest of the day I've just had normal meals the rest of Sunday. But it was about trialing nutrition. Had my breakfast 2 hours before, the gel about 15 minutes before, trialing warm up. My intra-shake, so I have kind of cyclic dextrin in there, which I've got here, which is the carb-based drink. I have essential amino acids, I have creatine, glutamine, my electrolyte drink in there. I'll have citrulline malate, beta-alanine, and I think that's everything I have in there. So just trialing all of that in terms of timings, sipping that as I go. So it was just a massive learning curve this weekend. Obviously I've only been in the hybrid games since March, and it was my first kind of proper weekend of competing, other than the Total Warrior ultra run I did. So yeah, it was a really good weekend across the board. I hope that you've enjoyed kind of me taking you along, seeing how I prepare for it in terms of carbohydrate loading, extra 100 grams of carbs, and that kind of planning that's happened to put that into perspective. So if you have enjoyed this, obviously I will do them. I've got HYROX in Birmingham. I've got HYROX in Dublin. I've got hybrid games coming up in London. So I've got lots of events, and I will be taking you along to all of them. So if you want to see more of this, you want to get notifications when I do post, if you could like the video, subscribe below, and leave a comment. But other than that, you will see another educational video that arrives next Sunday.